New episode of the Sean Widmer podcast, recording this on a Tuesday morning. We're trying something new today. We're trying something interesting for me. Trying video on this one today. How that's going to go, I don't know. We've got Ryan Ferguson, one of my very best friends, coming up today to talk hamburgers in just a moment. And we tried to record that video-wise. We'll see if that works to put it up on YouTube. Again, this is just kind of a test run on this. I'm also recording the video for the intro and the outro on video, and I'm realizing that is a risky game since I record this at 4:45 a.m. So I always have bags under my eyes, but they might be a lot bigger today. Okay, like I said, Ryan's coming up here in just a couple minutes. He's going to talk burgers with me. He actually, oh my gosh, he had beef with one of my favorite fast food places in town. Zips is a local place here in Spokane that I adore, and I love their burgers. And Ryan had beef with them, and so I had to get him on to talk about that because he's a hamburger guy and what his deal is to see where that came from. The difference of opinions in 2021, oh my gosh. So we're going to dive into that here in a little bit. I did want to say a couple things before we dive into that interview with Ryan, and one of those things that I want to say is the word dive in because I've said that about 4 times. So this is going to be a year, and I've said this before, this is going to be a year filled with great music. This is going to be a year, if you're a music fan, to sit back, relax, and just take it all in because everyone was on quarantine last year, and everyone was making music, whether it was writing it, recording it, both. So this year is going to be overload for tunes. We already had, if you're a country music fan, Morgan Wallen releases 30 songs, a double album that now has broke the record for most streamed country music album. I don't know the exact record. Probably should have looked that up before we started this. But he has a record for his album, Dangerous. And it was great album. Fantastic album. And my favorite band of all time just announced yesterday, they are releasing a new album. Well, we already knew they were releasing, and this band is Weezer, my favorite band ever. They're releasing an album on May 7th, Van Weezer. It's kind of a metal tribute to Eddie Van Halen. So that one we knew was coming out. But they also just announced out of nowhere on the 29th of this month, they're releasing an album called OK Human. So Weezer will have 2 albums this year. And I can only imagine this is going to start the trend for 2021 of just music galore from artists. They were bored just like everyone else. And I think a lot of people just dug into their work or dug into the thing they enjoy doing 2020. And so we're going to see that and maybe benefit from that in 2021. Hey, look, maybe if you like this podcast, you're benefiting from it right now because I went from hardly ever updating the podcast to now 5 times a week, oversaturating you with this podcast. That's what's happened here. But that was all, I give that credit to quarantine and and wanting to do stuff and the lack of things to do. So digging into the things I love to do. And I think that's going to be the case with a lot of it. So I'm looking forward to this. I mean, it's January 19th. And like I said, we've already got a major country music artist with a double album, 30 songs. Weezer announces they've got 2 albums coming out over the course of the next few months. Who's to say they don't have another one by fall? These people make music well, and that's their job, and they are going to do it at a high level right now when you're stuck to do nothing but write. No touring, anything like that, so you really are just stuck writing songs and making music. The other thing I wanted to mention today, and I'm going to, after Ryan, I think the new thing with the podcast is going to be a little intro, interview if I have one, and then end it with some sports stuff. So there's some basketball stuff after Ryan that we'll discuss. And if you didn't notice this, if you didn't know this, if you're on the podcast and you go to the description, it kind of puts the timestamps on when we talk about certain things. So if you do want to hop around, feel free to do that. Try to make it easy for you. I think on Spotify, you can even just click the times and it takes you right there. Okay, but before we get into other sports stuff, I wanted to give a Kelly's What Are You Into? And it is sportsplays.com. Okay, sportsplays.com. Yeah, promoting a website. If you have ever wanted to, if you're not into sports gambling and you've wanted to do it, but you don't want to lose money on it, this is the place to go. And they just updated their website over the weekend. A long time ago, this would have been 15 years ago, this site was called Scent Sports. It switched to Sports Plays, and now it's an updated version of Sports Plays. And what it is a website where you can gamble on sports without money, without you having to put in any of your money. And it's real cheesy how it works, but we find it to be very fun. And if you are a degenerate gambler like some of my buddies and me, this is a safe way to do this. They give you 50 cents, and the goal is to take 50 cents and just turn it into the biggest number you can get to. I think my buddy Kenny has got it up to the $200. I've got it up to $105. And what happens is if you get to a certain tier in making money, they actually will pay you out in cash, in dollars, that amount that you get up to. So once you hit a certain level, which is ever changing, I think right now it's a lot. I think right now it's $200 is the number you have to hit, and then they'll pay you out that money. It's really hard to get there, but it is so fun to do, and there's a major rush in doing it, and you get to get your sports gambling out without actually losing money. Now, this weekend, if you were sports gambling, by the way, that's sportsplays.com. If you're on there, hit me up on Twitter at Bommarooski on Twitter, because Kenny and I would love to add you as our friends. We're on there all the time because, again, we're degenerates. So if we don't have real money to gamble with at the time, we're always on sports plays making weird moves. So it's kind of where we make a lot of our weird moves. Okay. This weekend, though, is a weird one for gambling. There was 2 of the worst beats, and these are things that happen in sports where you've bet on something and it goes terribly wrong. And they happened with the 2 best college basketball teams in the nation. Over the weekend, Gonzaga played St. Mary's. Now, Gonzaga went into this game favored by 15.5 points. So if you bet on Gonzaga to cover, they needed to win by 16 points or more against St. Mary's, and you would win your bet. So I had bet on Gonzaga to win by 16 or more against St. Mary's, because St. Mary's, I don't like them, and Gonzaga's way better than them. So when Omar Ballo gets an alley-oop with 30 seconds left and Gonzaga winning by 14, all he has to do is dunk the basketball. And when he dunks it, Gonzaga goes up 16, and now I am very happy to win my bet on Gonzaga over the weekend. Omar Samhan bounces it off the back of the rim. Gonzaga wins by 14, which does not cover those 15.5 points, and I lose on Saturday. But have no fear, Monday's on its way. I'm going to make my money back on the Baylor Bears, the second best team in college basketball. They're going to beat Kansas. For sure, they're going to beat Kansas. And I want to make sure I get the names right here, because that needs to happen. So Baylor, I needed them to win by 8.5 points. So they needed to win by 9 or more points against Kansas. I'm going to win this bet, and everything's back in order. Everything's fine. It's good. Good weekend of betting. They've got Kansas with 2 seconds left. Baylor is up 11. Great. I mean, this is it. Money in the bank. I need them to win by 9 or more. Money in the bank. 1.9 seconds. Kansas inbounds the ball to some guy named Chris Tehan, who catches it at the Baylor logo, 5 feet inside half court, puts up a fading to the side launch half court shot, and banks it in at the buzzer to lose by only 8. From 11 to 8. Chris Tehan, what are you doing? So Baylor ends up only winning by 8. They don't cover the 8.5 points. Back-to-back college basketball bets over the weekend that this guy right here couldn't quite hang on to because of bad beats. Okay, there you go. There is the info you need on this weekend in gambling. So come join me at sportsplays.com so you can be frustrated with me about all of the bad beats that happen in the world of basketball. Let's get to it. We talk hamburgers, and we test out the video recording capabilities of my computer with a very janky setup to get this thing started. Let's talk to my guy, Ryan Ferguson. So Ryan Ferguson, Ferguson Films, this is Cavalier.com on today, and I'm trying something new with you. You're my guinea pig for adding video, an element of video to this.
I'm in.
Well, you better.
I wish I could have. I wish I. The thing is I thought, all right, I'm going to be your first video, so I'm going to do it. So I got to text you a picture of what my setup looks like right now.
Okay.
Because it's not actually working, but I have. You're not gonna be able to see that. It's too dark in here. Whatever. I set up a camera. I have a like this. It's not this exact one, but it's like a professional camera with a lens, and it's all running into a video capture card. And I thought, oh, this is gonna be great. And it won't see it. So it's just
Well,
worthless.
I feel bad
Anyways, I'm
because when
sorry.
we first connected, I could see you and you looked amazing. You still look
Oh,
amazing. But
oh,
so it might have
shoot.
all been on my end, and then I botched it for you,
No,
so that
it's
your
all right.
quality is down.
That's fine. That's
But I
fine.
wanted to add you for first video because you're the video guy. So I thought this is fitting. Also, I feel like we've always wanted to do I feel like this is something we would have done 12, 15 years ago, where if we could have figured out how to make a talk show for the internet when
Agreed.
you were in college, that would have been what we would have done, like just for fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, I digress because the reason I'm having you on today is a series of Marco Polo videos you sent the other day that made me laugh so hard. And you just go, I need an outlet on burgers. And I was like, okay, the coffee guy, the coffee snob, wants to come on the podcast and talk burgers. Because normally I would assume that you're gonna rally or talk about coffee would be my guess.
I do love coffee, but I mean, you can love more than one thing, I think. And
Thank you.
burgers, I mean, pigeonhole me here into a coffee guy. The hamburger is my favorite food, period. End of story. I think it's the greatest invention of food of all time, and I'll never be tired of eating a hamburger.
Hang on,
Okay.
over pizza, over
Oh yeah.
tacos.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
You know why? You know why? Because there are so many varieties of hamburgers.
Yeah.
You don't think that, but you can get very creative with a hamburger and make it taste very different from other hamburgers. And I suppose you can do that with pizza, but to me, it's just always cheese and pepperoni and marinara. I mean, you know what I mean? Like whatever.
You can get more
I realize
creative.
that's
I
not
do
everybody.
think
Everybody
you
can
can
get creative.
No, I do think you can get more creative with the burger. I love burgers.
Well, because people will go, oh, but you can put this, this, and this. And I'm like, well, that's not a pizza. That's something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fundamentals, and we don't need to get into the fundamentals of pizza, but believe me, I'd be happy to.
I don't know that we don't have to. If you're feeling like we need to get into fundamentals of things, let's get into fundamentals.
I think every pizza has crust, cheese, sauce.
Okay.
And so I feel like people will say, oh, well, you could do this, and then it's a fruit pizza or something. That's cute, but it's not an actual pizza. So then it limits you into just what are you going to add to the cheese and the sauce and the bread. And a burger is the same thing, but I don't know. I haven't fully flushed this idea. I haven't flushed the idea of comparing pizza versus hamburger. You kind of caught me off guard here. So I could be wrong, but I doubt that I am. What I do know is that hamburgers are my favorite, and I believe to be the best food out there.
Okay, so you texted the other day and you said you just had some burger thoughts. And first of all, our love of burgers goes back for a very long time because our Gramps kind of got the ball rolling for us, I feel like, with burgers. Now, your dad is the single best backyard hamburger maker that I know. Dan Ferguson is the king of backyard hamburgers. But we used to have hamburgers all the time at Gramps and Graham's backyard. And I think that's where our love came from for the burger.
The burger represented summertime in many ways. And it did, you're right. And summertime was represented by Grandma Gramps' backyard. And so, the burger, it just encapsulated our childhood youth at Grandma Gramps' backyard for sure.
Okay, so give me the burger thing that you had on your chest if you remember it now,
Well,
days
okay,
later, because we're getting old and we forget things.
So I'll tell you what the conversation started, and then I'd also like to hit on my last tweet that I also sent out if you want to talk burgers.
I would love to.
About some fast food. But it started with this is an observation that I have. I have a personal ranking of hamburgers, and in my opinion, in my personal record book, the 8 is the very top that a burger that is just simply classic burger ingredients, right? So it can be the best burger, but if it's just your ketchup, mustard, lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, just your general, that's what goes on a burger. The best you can be is an 8, which is still fantastic. But I reserve my 9 and 10 spots specifically for burgers that do something different. Okay. And we can get into that later.
So we're talking best backyard hamburger is going to be
backyard or a burger that someone sells at a restaurant. Now, let me give you an example. If I go to buy a burger, in fact, last night I had a new burger I'm excited to talk to you about from Red Robin.
Okay.
But if I go to get just Red Robin's classic bacon cheeseburger, okay? This is great.
Yep.
But it's a classic burger.
Yes.
If I go to get that burger, dude, my stupid monitor just shut off, and now look how dark it is.
Yeah, it got really dark. I kind of like it.
Do you? I just feel like I'm really letting down your video, the
No, no.
portion of your audience
It's
that will
like you
watch
got
the video.
really emotional about the hamburgers.
It's very serious
It's got
business.
very mood, the setting now in your room is now very deep and dark into the burger world.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so this is my thing is that let's say the best burger you can buy at a restaurant is an 8,
Okay.
okay, for just number's sake. If you have to take that burger home, it becomes a 6
Yeah.
all of the times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Burgers are not meant to travel. That's what I've realized, especially in this COVID, lockdown scenario we've been in, is that I buy a burger that I know is delicious, but by the time I get home, you have a choice to make. Your patty is cold and your bun is cold. But if you microwave it, now you have warm lettuce. Nobody
Yeah.
wants warm lettuce
No.
or a warm tomato.
Nope.
Get out of here with that. So it's been a dilemma. It's been a bummer because these places that I eat these burgers, I go, these burgers are amazing, but I got to drop it 2 points just because the experience is less than ideal.
Ryan, that's so funny. We did Red Robin, and I've been big on the Burning Love burger lately.
Oh,
And
nice.
so we
I thought
did
about that one.
the burgers, and I forget, Anna gets a non burger. She does, I don't know what it is, but it's not a burger. I get a burger, and I remember getting it home, and it two problems. One, it wasn't as hot in terms of just like temperature as it normally is. Also, the bun gets more soggy because you've now traveled with it
Oh,
for a
exactly.
long time, and so everything has overly soaked into the buns, and so now you're dealing with sloppy buns.
And that's a problem for
I
me.
hate
I don't like
sloppy
sloppy
buns.
buns.
No.
I do not like dry burgers. Okay. I do not like a burger that has a dry bun. I like to have some moist
You like
ingredients.
so you
that
like a little moisture in your buns, but you
I
don't
mean, I
need it
want
to be.
ketchup. Absolutely. I need it to be saucy.
Yeah.
I like that in a hamburger. I don't want to taste bun and burger only.
But you get what I'm saying, where you don't want to have
But
you
yeah,
don't want to
but
put your
that's a
finger into
mushy.
it and it tears off, like just starts
Yeah,
tearing apart.
exactly. It becomes a mushy bun,
Yeah.
and nobody likes mushy buns.
No.
So traveling with hamburgers definitely lowers its rankings. But that's not always the case with fast food burgers, I've noticed.
No.
So it makes me think that possibly a lot of their parts are plastic.
Which here's the deal. They
I don't
probably
have a
are, and
problem
I'm
with.
fine with it.
But see, the thing is, you could go to a Wendy's or Carl's Jr. and get a good fast food burger and drive 10 minutes home with it, or you could get a $12 Burn and Love burger from Red Robin. But by the time you get that home, they're on equal playing fields.
They are. That's a good point.
So then I go, well, do I really want to go spend $12 on a good burger if I can't eat it in the restaurant or in the parking lot, which I have done before?
Yeah.
Do I just go fast food because by the time you get home, it kind of all tastes the same?
Which is a bummer for which one of your kids is coming in?
It looks like my daughter.
Oh, my favorite. Well,
She left.
that's hard to say. She's your favorite because all your kids are my favorite. But Piper was the first. Piper was like the first of our group.
She was the first favorite.
So
yeah, she was.
She was like the first. I don't know who's older between her and Addie, but one of those two is the favorite. So first favorite.
Yeah.
Anyways, the conversation about the burger like Red Robin also bodes poorly for the local restaurants who are trying to fight for staying open with their burgers. Their burgers don't travel well.
Yeah.
That's something that I wish they could figure out, because I do like to buy the burgers from the place that needs my business over going to Mickey D's. But you are right. A 20-minute drive ruins their hamburger.
I've got a solution.
Okay.
The parts that you need to be warm are the bun and the burger, or the meat, obviously. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think you need much else on there to be warm. I guess if you've got like grilled onions, but here's what they need to start doing, and it would be a pain, and it probably would not make any sense, but separate everything. Let me build the burger at home. Do you know what I'm saying? I can warm up the things that need to be warm, and then the parts that don't, keep them in a fresh, little cup or little container, and I could build the burger at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that could be a really annoying solution to a problem that most likely doesn't exist for most people, but I think it'd make me happy.
All right, so you've been having burger issues just with the transport. That's kind of been where your issue is.
Transport is an issue. The biggest issue I had was Zips.
Yeah,
I hope they're not a
you did
sponsor of
not
this show.
dig the Zips, which I'm a Zips fan. You had some good observations though.
I don't know. I have not had good burger experience at Zips. In fact, I finally just said, forget it. I'm not doing burgers, and I'm going to go to the, what do they call, Clucks and Fries? That's
Yeah.
Red Robin, but the fish and chips or whatever. No, chicken and whatever. It doesn't matter.
Clucks and
The
Clucks and
point,
fries, whatever. They're chicken strips.
yeah, that's what they are. And so that's what I was doing, and that was fine. Um, but the last time I did that, my clucks had gone down to like an inch, and you only get 3 of them. And so they had, maybe it was a bad batch, but I was like, you know what, this place. If I need a milkshake or an ice cream cone, sign me up. But if
Big
I
ice
need
cream
food,
cones.
I'm out. I also do not like ham on a burger. That's weird to me. That
Yeah,
bothers me.
considering
So
it's
the
called a
Papa
hamburger.
Joe, yeah, I mean that's a stretch. So I'm out on it. I'm out on it. I'm out on Papa Joe's
Okay.
because it's gross.
They're so good.
Okay, but this is the point. My children went to the dentist and they did good. They didn't have any cavities, so I took them to Zips to get ice cream because naturally.
Yeah.
And so I was hungry, hadn't had lunch. I thought, you know what? I know it's not going to be great, but I don't want to stop again, so let's get a burger. So I'm looking at their menu and it's $12 for a meal, for like a bacon cheeseburger. And I was like, man, I'm not going to spend $12. So I'm looking, I'm like, I'll just get a burger, nothing to drink. I got some water in the car. And I got what I believe is called the double burger.
Okay.
Okay. So I get the burger. It's a fairly decent size burger as far as circumference goes. I get it in the car. We pull out. I take it out and I open it up. And there is nothing. Now, maybe this is Zip's method of, hey, you want to transport this burger? It won't get soggy because there was no ingredients between the bun and the first 2 burgers, first 2 patties.
Okay.
It was bun, patty, patty.
Oh.
Underneath that were 2 pickles
Okay.
and a dollop of ketchup. That's it. Now, I'm not 9 years old and I didn't order from the kids menu. So I'd like more things on my burger than ketchup and pickles. And fine if that's what your burger's going to be, but why
Yeah.
did you charge me $6 for it? It was $6 for this burger.
That's not a good. That's a bad look.
That's a terrible look. It's
Considering you know what
unacceptable,
you
to
can
be
get for
quite frank.
$6 at other places.
Well, that's exactly what I did. I threw the burger down in road rage and I went to Wendy's and I got for $5, I got a spicy chicken sandwich. I went a little bit off the board. I went
Yeah,
chicken.
not even a
I
burger
had a
anymore.
spicy
Yeah.
chicken sandwich, but it did have lettuce, tomato, mayo,
Okay.
and ketchup. So how many more ingredients is that? And then it also came with and by the way, it also came with 10 chicken nuggets.
Which is a big win.
So again, I went chicken because I was a little upset at the at burgers, but I was a lot more food and a lot more ingredients than for the exact actually
Yeah,
$1 cheaper.
that's a really good point. I see, and I'm a Zips guy, but I will say, if you're going, it's gonna hit you in the wallet. It's gonna
What
hit
I
you in the
say,
wallet.
just know who you are. You're a fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
So be a fast food restaurant. That's fine. I would not judge you if that burger was $3. I'd be like, all right, whatever. I'll go get some ketchup someplace else. But you're going to charge me the price of a Five Guys burger, then you got to, compete in that level. I
didn't realize you were a big Five Guys guy. And I'm
I'm a
trying to
big
get
Five
to
Guys
Five
guy.
Guys to get that burger that you told me was really good, which I forget what it was. It's
It's just a bacon cheeseburger.
Okay.
They
So
kind of do the in
so
and out
thrilling.
method where they don't have a real complicated menu,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. I don't mind a complicated menu, but I'm fine with that.
What is your 10 hamburger?
My 10
what is your
hamburger?
10? Like, what is the
I've
best
had
hamburger?
2 burgers. I've had 2 burgers, and unfortunately, I can't remember where I had this other one. It was over in Seattle. It was Charlie and I were coming home from filming a wedding, and we stopped at this little place in Redmond, and it was the best burger I'd ever eaten. And now I don't even remember much about it or where the place was. So that's a bad story. But
So
the
it
second
doesn't exist. The first 10 doesn't really
the
exist.
second, if hit me up if you know what I'm talking about.
So Charlie, let us know.
Charlie, let me know if you remember. The other one is in Sandpoint, and it is right on the water, right on like the public beach. There's like a little burger shop there.
Okay.
And I also can't remember the name of it, but they have a burger there, and it's got stuff on it, man. It's got bacon jam. It's got some stuff on it. I should look it up. I should have
Let
had
me
that
ask you
prepared.
this. Is this a Sandpoint burger that you like because you're in Sandpoint and you're feeling like,
Possibly.
oh, the water's here?
Okay.
Or does it
Yes.
actually
Yes.
taste good?
So that was my thought. Okay. I thought, okay, we went there on a little family vacay. We had a wonderful day at the beach. We went to this burger shop. It's summer, flip-flops, tank tops, and it was amazing. I thought this is the best burger I've ever had. So the next time I was in Sandpoint, I thought I got to try this burger again to see if it was like part of the moment thing. This time it was winter last February and it was rainy and I couldn't eat it at the store. I think we were COVID time, so I had to get it to go.
Okay.
And I ate it in the car and it was as good as I remember.
Really?
So, yeah, so I officially am saying that counts. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean, I'll
I'm gonna
have to
find
try that. You don't remember what the place is called?
I'm gonna find it right now.
Because I was going to
'Cause it was
say,
right
this
next
is
to
interesting that your 210 hamburgers, your favorite food, you know neither restaurant where you got the
No,
10
it's
so that
bad.
you could never actually find it if you wanted to
The
go. Well,
Burger
besides the Sandpoint one, you could.
The Burger Doc. That's
The
what
Burger
it is.
Doc. Okay, so the Burger Doc,
Yeah.
and do you remember the name of the burger?
I gotta look it up.
Okay, Cheese Louise. Like, I
Is
can
this a
tell.
great? Is this a
Burning
good?
Love Burger, Red Robin. Best hamburger I think you can get. The word I think ruined that. So, one of my favorite hamburgers, Burning Love Burger, I can tell you that right now, right off the bat. Prohibition is a place on Monroe and something, Northwest Boulevard or something, or Indiana.
Okay. I don't
And
know if
it's
I've been
got
there.
really good hamburgers there too. Now, I do have a problem sometimes when the people get crafty with their burgers and they're too big to put your mouth over. You don't have a problem with that.
Oh, I've got a very large mouth, so I don't have a problem with that.
I see Maddox has entered the room, my favorite.
Yeah, what are you doing, bud? Can you give me a second?
Oh, Maddox, give me 1 minute. Does Maddox want to tell me the best thing he got for his birthday? Did he get, what's the best thing you got for your birthday, Maddox? Can you ask him and then he can say it into the microphone?
What's the best thing you got for your birthday? Say it into the microphone.
Like before it, I think the PlayStation.
Okay, the PlayStation. Yeah, we hooked him up with the PlayStation
I
4.
like the PlayStation, but
What else? What else did you get for your birthday that you like?
I think it's I don't know.
Nah,
Ryan, how hard is it to get him to stop talking when there's not a microphone in his face?
Actually, the Spider-Man
There
game
we
is
go.
really fun. It's like easy.
Oh, the Spider-Man game is really fun and
It's
easy.
kind of easy.
Really interesting. Okay.
Thank you, Maddox.
You go.
The real champ. He got a PS4 and he got Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man, which I heard the rumor was that the easy game that he just said, he gets to the mission and then his father beats the mission. So Maddox is good at swinging to the spot where you have to fight the bad guys and then you fight the bad guys for him. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how we do it.
What an easy game.
What an easy game. man.
Okay,
Sorry, but
Ryan.
I thought I locked my door too.
No, you're good.
Unbelievable.
I just wanted
I found it.
your-
Okay, listen.
Okay.
The
Listen.
popper. Oh, wait to go. The popper. Okay, let me read you. House press patty, pepper jack cheese, Woods bacon, jalapenos, jalapeno cream cheese, tomato, iceberg lettuce, grilled onion, and apricot jam. Do you say apricot or apricot?
That is
Either
so funny.
way,
This is
it's the
back-to-back
best
podcasts.
burger.
Well, Friday's podcast, and now this is going to be on Tuesday. Both of those people have said, "Do you say apricot or apricot?" That's
Really?
kind of weird. 2 and 3
That's
podcasts.
really weird. It's weird.
I say apricot, or no, I think I say apricot. Apricot. I say apricot.
I just said apricot, but I feel like in the past I've said apricot.
That sounds good. And that's at the Doc Burger.
Yeah, something like that.
Drive all the way up to
The-
Sandpoint for it. But you
The
know what?
burger doc.
Worth going to
It's worth
Sandpoint.
it.
Sandpoint's awesome.
It's
So it's
spicy, man. I love spicy on my burgers. That's a new thing that's happened in the last 2 years.
Have
I
you
put
tried
hot
the
sauce on my burgers now?
you put hot
Okay.
sauce?
Yeah, I have not. I almost got the Burning Love last night, and now I wish I would have. Instead, I got the Mad. What's it called? The Mad Love Burger.
Mad
Can't be
Love? Maybe. I
Mad-
mean, it
it's
might
Red
be. They
Robin.
might just be loving on everything, trying to get that love.
That seems irresponsible.
Let me look. Red Robin menu because I would like to get this right. You and I are Red Robin lovers. We both love Red Robin, right?
Always.
And we love their burgers. I always get bummed when people say
Dude, it
other
is the
places
Mad
have better
Love.
burgers. Is it Mad Love?
That seems like lazy naming.
So they have Burnin' Love. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not Burnin' Love. Maybe it's Burnin' something else. Burnin' Buns.
that?
Oh, Ryan, I was going to tell you that this is something that I do think is happening with both of us. Where are these burgers even at? Okay, Mad Love Burger. There it is. It looks delicious. And I get I thought it was called the Burnin' Love Burger, but now I can't find that. So maybe the Burnin'
It
Love
is.
Burger
It's gotta
doesn't
be.
exist anymore. Yeah, there it is. Burnin' Love Burger. So Mad Love Burger, Burnin' Love Burger. I will tell you why you and I can both eat spicy burgers now.
All right.
We have bidets.
Oh, yes.
I'm dead serious. and I know this may be
Yes.
TMI for people who eat spicy food, but if you ever worry about eating spicy food because of the end result, the next morning, the
Mhm.
bidet cancels that out because that icy cold water takes away any and all pain on
Dude,
the
it's
exit.
so great.
And so
Yes.
that is a very big deal for me eating spicy foods. I'm not afraid of them anymore. I'm not afraid
That's a
anymore. I'm
great
like
point.
the
That's
Kevin
a great point.
McAllister of hamburgers, of spicy hamburgers.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, Ryan, thank you for being my test dummy on the new podcast look, where I'm also going to try to put some video stuff with it. And you were my first. I wanted you to be my guinea pig, one, because I knew you would be able to be my guinea pig, and also because you're my video guy. Like, you're the video
Yeah.
guy.
I'm happy to do it. I'm a little bit let down that I didn't have a little bit better setup for you here, but I'm
Next
going to
time.
blame Discord on that.
Next time. And then next time I need to talk to you in the future about wiffle ball. I have some wiffle ball thoughts for you and some wiffle ball rulings I need to get off my chest with you. And then you bought your kids something with lasers that I want to talk about. I want to get an extensive review on those next time, probably next week. How's that sound?
Hey, listen, I'm always around, man. I'll try to step my my camera game up for you here too, so I can really get some high def.
What's the best fast food burger right now?
The
Is it
double
that?
stack from
Is
Wendy's.
it that the bacon cheeseburger from Five Guys?
The Five Guys,
But
yeah,
Five Guys
it's
doesn't have a
$8.
drive-through. Five Guys doesn't
It's
have a drive-through.
$8. It doesn't have a drive-through. I'm not going to count it. It's so good. Do that.
Okay.
But I love the double stack from Wendy's. It's not super big. You need at least 2 of them if it's going to be your meal, but it's so cheap, and they pack that sucker down there, 2 patties, lots of onions. I love onions, ketchup. I mean, it's just everything. It's a dense burger. You know, sometimes you eat a fast food burger like a cheeseburger from McDonald's, and you get a lot of bun in your mouth. And bun to burger ratio is very important to me. Okay.
Yeah.
But this one is dense. Every bite is very dense, and I appreciate that. So I'd get the double stack. I'm sure there's other burgers out there, but for the value,
I
of
need
what
to
you get-
revisit Wendy's, because Wendy's to me always was big, heavy bun taste.
Yeah.
And so I might have just been, it might have been something where I had a bad one. And so
I think they finally ditched their square. You know, they had those square patties.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that anymore.
Okay,
That was
'cause
dumb.
that was just I feel like I had an experience with that. Now, you and your brother hate my favorite hamburger, which is the Whopper.
Oh, I don't know if I hate it. Burger King.
It's not your
I don't
favorite.
know.
Burger King's not your favorite. If
just
you're going
think,
to
who
choose a
goes to
fast food
Burger
place,
King?
you're going to go somewhere else, where I will go to Burger King and get that Whopper. My buddy who used to manage McDonald's, he also doesn't dig the Burger King burgers as much. And I was like, man, maybe I'm on an island. But then I heard a couple people say that they also like the Whoppers and the double Whoppers, because I do feel like those things are the closest to a backyard hamburger.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. The Carl's Jr. They used to have one called the All Natural Burger.
I don't know if
And I didn't
don't
care.
know.
I didn't care much about the all natural part of it, but it was the actual taste of it, and like the way it was put together. It was very, very good. Felt very much like a backyard burger.
Okay, and see that's they have the charbroiled burgers there, which I think is the key. Okay,
Oh yeah, and I think they've kind of added that. Anyways, we can talk burgers all day.
Here's the deal: I have to go because my daughter is awake and screaming at the camera, and you have
All
to
right,
go
well, my
because
son just won't leave me
your
alone,
son
so
is here. So
I'm good.
I
Yep,
appreciate you
you
being
gotta
my
deal with
demo on the video version
I
of
hope
the
it
podcast.
works.
We hope it does
I hope
too.
it works.
Okay, Ferg, I'll talk to you later, man. Thank you so much. Okay, there was Ryan, and I'm still irritated that he had problems with zips. I understand where he's coming from, but Lord, I need him to go. I think I need to go with him to Zips and order the stuff he would like. He would love a Wrangler. He would love a Wrangler. Like, I love the Papa Joe, and it's got that ham on it. It's one of my favorite burgers of all time. But he obviously doesn't like the slice of ham, so that doesn't do anything for him. Zips is just good. They've got good fries. I don't need to defend Zips. I don't need to Zips defends itself. Now, I will say this about Zips. You need to go to the right Zips, because everyone varies a little bit in how they do their stuff. So that part is extremely true. And if you are an Eastern Eagle like I am, you got to go to Zips and Cheney, because Zips and Cheney. Speaking of Cooper Cup, if you're listening, when are you coming on the podcast? Cooper Cup, this is the bat signal going up to you. When are you coming up on the podcast? A Cooper Cup story coming up on tomorrow's podcast, which will be tomorrow's podcast is a long one. Tomorrow's podcast is a very long podcast. I've got my buddy Billy, my buddy Josh, and they deep dive the reemergence, the resurgence of sports cards in the United States of America. It's really interesting. If you are someone who collected any kind of cards in the 90s, you're going to like this. It's crazy. I did not know a lot of the story about what's going on with the sports cards right now, but they'll get you caught up on that and the industry that is sports cards. That's tomorrow. Long episode of the podcast with Billy and Josh. Now, already for the video part of this, they were in person, and so I didn't get to record it because I have no way of recording interviews in person video-wise. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Already, day 2 of attempting to do video with the podcast. But this is mainly still just for the people who listen, so enough about the video talk. I wanted to end it with this today. 2 sports things for you. And number 1, they're both NBA things. The NBA is great. If you're not watching the NBA, please get on it. It is fantastic sports. I know football's coming to a close. By the way, this weekend in the NFC, I don't know who I'm cheering for. I love Tom Brady. I'm older. I'm almost 40. I'm 39 right now. And Tom Brady doing what he does at the level he does it at is really hard to cheer against. He's an older dude than me, playing in the NFL, and potentially going to win a Super Bowl. So I feel obligated to cheer for that. Also, does Tom Brady not sweat? Does he never sweat? I feel like every time his helmet is off, he's never sweat for a minute of his life playing football. But he's playing Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. I like the Packers. I think I'm cheering for Tampa Bay, though, this weekend. I think I want the Brady thing to happen. I want him to win a Super Bowl in Tampa, and then I can say, without a doubt, without a shadow of doubt, I lived through the greatest football player of all time. I lived through his career, got to watch it from start when he took over from Drew Bledsoe until he was winning a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. But this is not about football. Football's coming to a close. I just ask that you latch onto the NBA. It's really good basketball. It's so much different than people say it is. It's not the kind of basketball that you're going to hear the people whose brain are stuck in 2010. I've begged this before on the podcast. I beg it again. The New Jersey. I almost said New York Nets. The New Jersey Nets pick up James Harden. We got to see the experiment firsthand over the weekend. No Kyrie, but we got to see Kevin Durant and James Harden on the court together, working with a plethora of other guys who are decent basketball players. And we got to see that one in an opening game where they're just trying to figure it out and they get the win. And then we got to see it yesterday against the best team in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks. And Nets win both games. The game against the Bucks last night was like a playoff game. It was Harden and KD against Giannis and Middleton, but they showed up and they showed out. And they are fantastic to watch. And watching James Harden and Kevin Durant makes me so happy for good basketball players, because KD and Harden are really good basketball players. They're 2 of the best basketball players that have feet on the earth right now, period. Basketball talent level for both of those guys is through the roof. They are in that 1% of the 1%. And watching them work last night and watching them smile and watching them have fun, when you get to see anyone who does their craft, who's very good at a specific craft, and you get to see them do it while they're having fun, that is a special thing. That's a really cool thing to watch. And it's one of those things that you see occasionally with other stuff. Like cooking was the first thing that came to mind. When you watch some of these cooking shows and you see the person who's in the zone and they know they're winning, and you watch the smile on their face and you get to see them get after their craft like that, it's just a really fun thing to watch at the high level. This is what happens with these NBA guys when they're having fun. LeBron's been having fun in LA. You can see it, right? He made the shot last week where he's in the corner. He's going to go shoot his 3-pointer. While he's shooting it, Dennis Schroeder, I think it was Schroeder, gets up and makes a bet with LeBron, like, you won't make this shot, $100. And LeBron shoots it and turns right around, doesn't even watch the 3 go in, looks at Schroeder, the ball goes in, he celebrates, the bench goes crazy, he gets down the court on defense, and you just go, this is elite basketball where the guys are having fun playing. So the Nets played over the weekend. I'm all in on them. I'd urge you to watch one of their games this week. They don't have Kyrie yet. And I know the big question is, can these 3 guys work together? Because they've all had issues of being head cases. Now, here's the deal. Harden, I do not buy the head case thing. I think that guy wanted out of Houston. It was not a situation where he can win, and he's in the NBA at this point to win an NBA title. That's what Harden's in the league for. He wants to win a championship. He's done all the other stuff. He's won an MVP. He's been the best player in the league. it's time to get a ring. Kevin Durant, I know he's had his stuff, but I think Kevin Durant I don't think he's a bad teammate. I really don't think he's a bad teammate. I just think he's maybe a quirky dude that people don't always get along with. But Harden and KD get along well with each other. And so I don't think there's going to be any issue with them in New Jersey. I think the problem is Kyrie, and the Nets have just proven this weekend they don't need him. So Kyrie comes in. If Kyrie has his head on straight, they are going to be an unbelievably unstoppable team. They may be the most unstoppable team of all time with Kyrie. Those are three dudes who are super talents on the same team. But like I said, if Kyrie comes in and it's weird, Steve Nash is just going to say, "I don't want to play you. We don't like you. Get out of here." And we need to win a championship right now. So see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. But like I said, if Kyrie comes in and wants to do this and wants to be part of this, that's going to be a truly unstoppable trio. They will score 150 points a game, and it's going to be awesome to watch. The other news I had: the Blazers finally lost over the weekend. They had won 5 of 6 going into their game on Martin Luther King Day, and they lose this game, and I'm worried because not only did they lose this game, they got beat down by the San Antonio Spurs in Portland, and it was their first game without CJ McCollum, who we found out has a fractured foot and is going to be out for like a month. The Blazers looked so good their last 6 games, and now, you know what? I take that back. They didn't look so good. They looked really good. They had to come back on almost all of these games, but the comebacks were real. They were showing a lot of defensive prowess. They were big hustle games. The young guys were all over the place. Lillard was playing a lot better. They lose Nurkic last week to a broken hand, and then they lose CJ McCollum to a broken foot. And now, I don't know how you weather the storm. I don't know, in an NBA where the season's a little bit shortened and these teams at the top are so good, I don't know that you get to have a month without 2 guys who you need and pull through that in a position that sets you up for success for the season. So that CJ injury is going to be devastating. They looked real subpar without CJ McCollum yesterday. There's just no one to hit open jumpers. And that's a big deal. You lose a huge burden is now placed on bench guys to score points that they don't need that burden. The burden wasn't there with CJ. CJ was scoring at will. CJ and Dame were getting you 60 to 70 points a game, and that alleviates a lot of pain and a lot of pressure from other guys to have to score. Their scoring is great and needed, but not at the pace that it's going to be at now. Okay, there's some NBA stuff for you. Thank you for tuning into the podcast today. Like I said, tomorrow we talk sports cards with Josh and Billy. If you liked the pod today, let me know. Bommarewski on Twitter, Sean Widmer on Instagram, SEANWIDMER. It's just like it says in the podcast description. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.